Ooh, what's up, guys? This is Seth the Man here, coming at you with another episode of Seth Rants. Now, on this subject of Seth Rants, we're going to talk about how I think the zombie apocalypse will occur, and what to do during the zombie apocalypse. So, how to survive the zombie apocalypse. Personally, I think it would start off, it has to be some sort of parasite, some sort of thing that inserts into your brain. And upon death, your brain deactivates within 10 minutes of the heart stopping. And once that occurs, I would assume that this parasite would leech itself onto your nervous system of your brain, to the point of where it takes total control of your brain, except, speech, and it has, slight walking, I don't know. I would assume that it has to connect itself to some sort of nerval system inside of your brain that connects itself maybe around where the spinal cord is, because I know that's generally connected to where most of the nerves are. If that does happen, I would assume that the zombies would have to have some sort of, stopping device to be able to fucking just keep themselves from attacking themselves, basically. There has to be some sort of system behind it to know the difference between human and zombie. They either go by scent, because generally, the dead are pretty obvious smelling difference from the living. I mean, I smell like Old Spice compared to a dead schmuck who smells like asshole. Continuing on, you could also tell by the sight of the person. If they're stumbling around, falling all over themselves, and, just dripping in organs and dead skin and everything, that's pretty obvious that it's a fucking zombie. So the zombies will be able to tell generally by sight, smell, and I would assume by hearing. What I would recommend to stay away from. I know you all will say that this is a bad idea, but hear me out. Stay away from guns. Guns are one thing that I would recommend staying away from. Just because of the whole fact of guns are probably the loudest fucking thing you could possibly have. And if you go with a melee weapon, more than likely, whether or not you're in a fucking facing a huge horde or facing about half a dozen zombies, it's still going to affect the way of your thought process. If you're sitting there with a gun and you're facing a horde of zombies and you're shooting at the zombies, alright, more than likely you're gonna run out of ammo before you even get done fucking with that horde. And then, not only that, the zombies will continuously come towards you as you're shooting, just because they can hear all those fucking gun sounds just blaring off. Stay away from guns, alright? Just because it will attract zombies, alright? And not to mention, it's just a fucking dangerous weapon. First of all, I mean, if you really want to get down to using a gun, I would personally use maybe some sort of sniper rifle with a suppressor on it. Because if you're going to sit there and use a gun without a suppressor during a zombie apocalypse, then you're a fucking idiot. You are a fucking idiot. And you deserve to die. The second thing I would recommend staying away from is, I would say, vehicles to a point, but not every single vehicle. Alright? Not every single vehicle can be considered bad during the zombie apocalypse. I mean, if you're driving around, like a little bug, just fucking flying down the road, you're probably not going to survive if you're in, let's say, the Gravedigger, the fucking huge-ass monster truck. I'm sorry, but if I'm in the Gravedigger and I'm tumbling over zombies left and right, making their brains explode all over the place, I think that's going to deal a little bit more damage than some fucking bug just, driving down the fucking road. Personally, I would stay away from vehicles unless it is some sort of monster vehicle, to the point of where for a fact you won't be able to be attacked. As in, like I said, a monster truck. If you're sitting inside of a monster truck, alright, a monster truck, the door to a monster truck is about 20-30 feet high. Alright? And I don't know about you, but I don't think any zombie in existence can climb up a 20 to 30 foot high tire just to get to the fucking door of your vehicle. You know, if you have access to a monster truck during the zombie apocalypse, well, you are one of those overly nourished people, and you need to fuck off. Alright, because I don't have a monster truck, and I don't want a monster truck. One thing I would recommend that you save and you conserve is generally water. Alright, what I would recommend is some way possible, alright, invest your life supply of money inside of a water purifier. Now, if you don't really know how to use a water purifier, that's fine. You know, you can survive without a water purifier. You don't fucking need it. You know, all you have to do is basically what you do to purify your water is you start a flame. Alright, if you don't know how to start a flame, you know, use a lighter, or you could just rub sticks together or something. Use like something like dead grass or leaves or something surrounding it, so that way whenever there's a spark or anything, it'll catch flame. Once you do that, alright, I would recommend having a pot on you. Not only a pot, but you're also going to need some tinfoil and also another pot. Grab yourself some contaminated water. I wouldn't say contaminated with the zombie virus, because then you're just fucked either way, whether you decontaminate it or not. You start off, grab a sheet of tinfoil, alright, and you poke little tiny holes inside of the tinfoil. And I'm not talking about like some huge ass fucking hole. I'm talking about like thumbtack sized holes. And you pour the water through it so that way it filters out all the ginormous shit. Alright, all like the fish shit, all the shit, and all different kinds of shit. Once you do that, all you have to do is just sit there and let the water boil. Alright, I would recommend having like a sheet of tinfoil curving downwards into another pot, because you're really going to need this. Once you have the water steaming up, alright, it's going to click itself to that tinfoil and drip its way down into the other pot. That water right there, that's purified water. Alright, so in case you guys didn't know that, you just fucking learned something new. So you don't really have to worry about a water purifier, but if you do have a water purifier, it makes it 10 times easier. Another thing I would recommend having is melee weapons. Have an abundance of melee weapons. I wouldn't say too many. I mean, 2, 3, maybe max. I mean, 4 or 5, it'll just weigh you down to that point. I mean, what I would recommend is to have a longer ranged melee weapon, such as like a 42-inch katana, like steel katana, to the point of where you can slice off a zombie's head, clear cutting it, you know, without any problems. So I would recommend having a short range knife, such as like, I don't know, just any sort of fucking pocket knife possible. Alright? Anything. It just has to be sharp. Not some little tiny ass like thing that can barely even, you know, insert itself into the brain. It has to be at least probably like 6 or 7 inches. Those are the two things I would recommend. I mean, if you do end up having a gun with a silencer, that would be your third weapon. If you don't have a gun with a silencer, then personally I would recommend just staying the fuck away from guns. Guns are what lead to zombie hordes coming after you. If you are sitting there all silent, sneaky deaky and shit with just melee weapons, you know, sneaking up behind zombies and shit, they can't even see you. There's no guarantee that they won't see you, but it is a higher chance that you won't be heard or noticed by them if you use a melee weapon rather than a gun. If you use a gun, all those zombies will turn around and be like, food! Food! The zombie apocalypse is just something that everybody wants. The zombie apocalypse is just something everybody needs. Alright, personally, I would love to have the zombie apocalypse come. You know, if it came down to it, it will increase the survivability of the human race. You know, there isn't people just sitting there slaving off of stupid shit, just trying to survive off of the system. You know, it's not going to be based off of like, oh, American currency or Japanese currency or European currency, or it's not going to be based off of currency at all. It's going to be based off of, if you can survive, then you're okay. But if you're going to fucking die, then you're probably going to die again. I think that it would bring out the survival instinct in human beings. It will bring us to the point of where we will need to use our actual instincts to be able to survive like normal people, like how we used to survive without a civilization. You know, and I'm not saying that you can't have a civilization in the zombie apocalypse. I would personally recommend having a civilization, just because of the fact of, you know, what if you do get invaded by hordes of zombies? You know, you wouldn't want to be alone in that situation. I would much rather be comfortable with, like, 10, 20 people against a horde rather than me versus horde. Yeah. Me versus horde equals me lose. Me death. Yes, I would recommend having yourself a community, having yourself some sort of, like, thing going on with people, different kinds of people, just so that way you know that you're not the only person in this fucking world that's trying to survive. And if you bring people that actually know how to survive, for one, but are willing to cooperate with people, that is probably the perfect person that you need to have on your team. You don't have a person that can't survive on their team, more than likely they're just going to end up dead anyways. You either have to be quick on your feet, know survival instincts, be a medic, or know how to farm. Alright? Those are the 4 things that I would really, really recommend you having in your group. If you don't have a doctor, you know, and it comes down to the point of where you get into a serious injury, but not getting bit, or to the point of where you got infected by the zombie virus, then you're really going to need that doctor to help you out with, like, either amputation or curing an infection or just anything in general. You know, stitching up shit and just all that. You know, they know whether or not you're able to survive and go on, or is it a waste of time and you're going to die. Survivalist, just because, you know, if you don't want to sit there and rely on just farming food like fucking vegetables and fruit and shit like that, then, I mean, you're going to need a survivalist. You're going to need somebody who's willing to hunt, who's willing to go out of their way to place traps and all of that, and knowing that zombies have a chance of catching into those traps. The other great thing to have is just, like I said, the civilization. The civilization is the main thing that I would really encourage everybody having. If you don't have a civilization, then you are fucked. You are completely fucked. Alright, you're gonna have to do everything yourself. You're going to have to rely on only yourself. And if you come up to people who just so happen to be raiders, you know, there are some really, really, really fucked up people out there. Whether it be me, you, next door neighbor, or fucking Jimmy Joe from down the street. Either way, there is that slightest chance that that person can be crazy. The thing I would recommend also staying away from is farm animals. Alright, and you may not think that this is a great idea, but hear me out. I would recommend staying away from farm animals because, one, they're loud as fuck. Alright, they don't know the difference between a flesh-eating zombie and a human. Alright, they don't freaking care. They really don't care. Alright, a chicken's gonna be sitting there barking its fucking head off while a cow's sitting there quietly mooing at grass. Alright, you're just gonna see that, and that will attract zombies. More than likely, the zombies will attack it, and from my theory, in my opinion, I feel like that if there are zombie humans, why can't there be zombie animals? That is a real question. There are many, well, I wouldn't say that there are many. There are a few different types of species that resemble the human race. Monkeys. Alright? I don't know about you, but I'd be fucking terrified if some fucking monkey swinging on vines and shit, just fucking flying all over the place, comes hurling itself at me and it's a zombie. Like, holy shit! I'd fucking book it out of there if I'm not dead already. Alright, now that is terrifying. Picture a zombie rhino. A zombie rhinoceros. If a zombie rhinoceros comes charging at you full force, no shits given, you're fucked. You are fucked. I mean, honestly, if you think that you can survive a zombie apocalypse that involves only humans, I will respect that. I will respect that completely. But if you put in the consideration of zombies coming in to animals, if you like put that concept together of where the zombie virus can connect to animals and infect them with the virus, you know, that is scary. That is really, really fucking scary. I am not totally prepared for that kind of situation because there's also the fact of like mosquitoes, you know, they could suck the blood out of an animal and then next thing you know, they're coming to suck your blood and you smack them or something and then you're infected with the zombie virus because that mosquito had the zombie virus. Or you go to, let's say, harvest your pigs. Alright, you go to kill a pig and harvest its meat. Next thing you know, it has the zombie virus inside of it, just because of some mosquito. You will be fucked. If the zombie virus infected animals, I would say we would have absolutely no chance of survival. Absolutely no chance. I wouldn't say that you're entirely fucked if you, like I said, if you know your survival instincts, if you know, stay the fuck away from anything dead or anything that looks dead. That would be the most genius idea ever. Stay the fuck away from animals. Alright, I wouldn't say entirely, if the zombie virus doesn't infect animals, then fuck it. Fucking kill animals. I don't give a shit. There's not gonna be the whole situation of where it would just be the human race. Because, you know, there are animals have brains too. Animals have nervous systems as well. They have an immune system and continuing on. You know, they just have generally most aspects that humans have. The only difference is that we're more intelligent than them. You know, we can walk on 2 feet. We have opposable thumbs. We fucking have a society or whatever the fuck. That's not stopping the zombie virus from infecting animals. If it comes down to it and animals start getting infected by zombies, then you're gonna have to become a vegan. It sucks. Really sucks, but you're gonna have to become a vegan. You're gonna have to start surviving off of fruit, vegetables, and that's about fucking it. I really think if it came down to it, the zombie virus would more than likely infect how do I put it? It would more than likely start in a higher populated area. Just because, in my opinion, with higher populated areas, there are generally more sick people because you're in contact with more people. You know, like, let's say New York City is probably going to get bombarded with zombies compared to, I don't know, fucking small town. Alright, let's go with Twilight. Forks, Washington. Alright, that's a pretty small town, I think. I don't know. I don't know if that's a small town. But, you know, the difference is that there's more population in New York City than most places. Alright, and if you're gonna sit and live in New York City, more than likely there is a higher chance of you being infected by the zombie virus than it is if you're in a small country town. If you could be walking down the street in a country town, not see a single fucking zombie. If you even go outside in New York City, you're gonna find hordes upon hordes upon hordes of zombies. There's gonna be hundreds of those bastards out there. Alright? And in that situation, you're fucked. Rule number 1, make sure you know your survival instincts. If you don't know your survival instincts, find someone who does. Rule number 2, know how to purify water. Alright, purifying water is an essential to survival. Alright, you can go about a week or two without eating food, but if you go even like 3-4 days without drinking water, you're gonna die of dehydration. Have a community. Having a community is probably the best solution there is to being able to survive a zombie apocalypse, just because the more the merrier. The more people there are, the more of a chance you'll survive, just because not only will they save your ass, you'll save their ass, and also 4 people versus 100 zombies is way more likely of survival than 1 versus 100. Is the 4th thing, melee weapons. Alright, make sure you have a fair share of melee weapons. If you want to go with the whole gun situation to where you have a boatload of guns, that's fine. You know, that's completely reasonable. You can have your guns. Alright, I'm going to stick with my melee weapons, because you can run out of bullets. I'm pretty sure steel blades aren't going to break from skin. Dead skin at it. Thank you guys so much for watching this episode of Seth Rants. Leave a like, comment, subscribe, and please, please do me a favor. Comment below what you think is the best situation for the zombie apocalypse. What do you think will cause it? What do you think will spread it? Alright? And what do you recommend us doing about the zombie apocalypse? Alright, I'm not saying that we can't survive the zombie apocalypse. With all these movies and TV shows coming out that have to do with the zombie apocalypse, we're already fucking prepared. Alright, if you don't know to shoot a zombie in the fucking head to kill it, that's your fault. Your death is your fault. But if you do know that situation and you get fucked either way, it's not really as bad as if you didn't know the situation. So, if you don't know shit about zombies, watch a zombie fucking movie. If you do know a lot of shit about zombies, why not watch them again, right? They're pretty good. Thank you guys again, and don't forget to comment below. I would really like to hear what your guys' opinions are of the zombie apocalypse, if it could happen. And also, what would you do to survive the zombie apocalypse? How would you go about it? Because I know a bunch of different people would go about it a way different way than I would. But I'm not the smartest cookie in the bunch, but I'm also not the dumbest cookie. So, thank you guys again. I'll see you guys next time.